Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium. I'm a spirit navigator. Today, we're going to be talking about your soul, your soul's destiny, perhaps even maybe your direction of your life and how to change it or how to be in the driver's seat of your life. This is a change year. If you're watching this in 2025, you guys hold on to your seats because nine energy, which is what 2025 is all about change. So we're going to be going through some change, whether we want to or not. Some of us love change. Some of us are like, no, I don't want to go through any change. And I think the best way to kind of tackle this is to get your wits about you and really look at the areas in your life that are going to be affected and what the spirit guides are saying is get out of demo mode. Okay. If you're new here, I'm channeling. So it's 60% spirit guides, 40% Susan. And, the spirit guides have been talking a lot to me personally, about my own life and about how, are you in the demo? Think about your life as a game. And some people know demo mode, like you haven't bought the game yet. Maybe you're in the phone store and you're on the demo, or you're in the computer store and you're using the demo. You're not really using the whole program or the whole device. You're using a very altered demo, demonstrating part of it. And the spirit guides are like, are you in demo mode, or are you in beginner mode, or are you in expert mode? Where are you? And it's not so much of a judgment about where you are as it is, let's acknowledge where we are. So this is why it's so important right now to just take a moment and go, where am I showing up in my life? Like really, like, and there, again, no judgment, because we all have parts of our lives where we're phoning it in, where we're just like doing the bare minimum, just trying to like get through the day. Fine. That is normal. No human is going to be hitting the high notes or knocking it out of the park every day. Even the most, especially the guides are saying, the most successful people that you might compare yourself to, they have a team of people keeping them going. The more money you make, the more people you have to help you, and the easier your life is, right? So don't compare yourself to these people that you would think are super successful because they have resources that you don't. So, really, what the guides are suggesting is just take a moment and maybe even just think, what's important to you right now? Like maybe next week it might be different, and maybe last month it was different. But what's important right now? Because that's a really big indicator of what you need in your life. Sleep might be what's important to you right now, a vacation, a pay raise, meeting the bills, having some peace and quiet, getting some exercise. What is it? I don't know. What is it for you? It might surprise you. Maybe being loved, getting some respect is really important to you. So here's how you're going to hack this. You know what I mean? When I say hack, I mean, here's how you're going to fix it, if you will. And that is, realize everything starts with you. Everything. So if you've got a mate or a boss who's a royal pain in your behind, and you're feeling like, I'm trapped, I can't go anywhere, I can't get out of this relationship, or I can't get out of this family situation, I can't get out of this living situation, I can't get out of this job situation. Those things all might be true on the bare face of it. But how you can get out of it, how you can totally change your life and not even have to win the lottery, right? Is by stepping back into you. And I know this because I've done it. I've done it in my own life and I've helped other people do it. So I know this is true. And that is, forget them, right? Like, they are going to do them. You're not going to change your spouse. You're not going to change them. You're not going to change your boss. You're probably not going to change your paycheck tomorrow or next week. Um, those things are really outside of your control. So I think that's the first thing to recognize. What do I have control over and what do I not have control over? And I think that that's a really big opportunity right there for you to seize control. Because when you stop trying to control the things you can't control and realize what you can control, all of a sudden you're in a position of power, real power. Because no, I cannot control my spouse, cannot control my boss, I cannot control maybe even some kind of illness or health situation to a degree. But what I can control is my attitude. I can control whatever those things I can, whether or not I decide that I'm going to go for a walk every day, whether or not I decide that I'm not going to lock myself in that energy of the news. I'm not going to sit there and watch my spouse's favorite programming for 3 hours. Maybe I'm going to tell my kids, hey, you're going to have to handle things for an hour while I go take a bath. Obviously, if they're not 2 years old, right? But where can you take control of your life? It might be very small. It might even just be your attitude, your thoughts. But let me just tell you that if you change your thoughts and your attitude, everything around you will change. Everything. Believe me when I say everything, because your vibration changes. Once your vibration changes, those people who are vibrating with you no longer can vibrate at that level. You're not matching. You're kind of passing each other in the night, if you will. Same thing at work. So all of a sudden, the people that are kind of negative and gossipy, they stop talking to you because you don't feel like that kind of person anymore. And that gives you more free time to get the work done, or gives you more free time to have that lunch that you wanted to have by yourself in peace and quiet. So, really, fixing yourself fixes everything else around you. Number one. Okay. Number two, let's talk about your soul. Let's talk about your soul contract. I've got a lot of videos on this, to be honest, and you are watching a one video of 110 videos, if you can believe that. I have 110 videos in this series called Wow, Wisdom on Wednesdays. And it's all about how to hack your life or to raise your spiritual vibration. So many helpful videos. It's all free. It's all on YouTube. Okay. You can find it on my main channel. Click in the logo, take you to my main channel, go to playlist, go to Wow. Boom. There it is. A whole spiritual library for you for free to help you. This stuff really will help you. And it really will change your life. I know this because I've seen it with my own eyes. So let's talk about your soul. So, your soul, you came down here with a plan, believe it or not. You really did. You came down here. Now you picked your parents, whether they're adopted or not, it doesn't matter. You picked you picked the whole thing. If you want to read a really good book and this person is crossed over, I get nothing from this person. I just think that this is really kind of the human instruction manual, if you will. I would check out Journey of Souls, because this hypnotherapist accidentally regressed someone back to the time between their lives. They took this person back to the time where they weren't incarnated. And then he said, wait a minute, let me try and do this again. He ended up doing it hundreds of times. And in these books that he wrote, he basically just printed the actual conversations that these people had, where they said, I chose my wife, I chose my dad. It's fascinating, but it helps you understand that all this is for a reason, right? This is all for a reason. And it's all about growing your soul, expanding your soul. We're down here to have these amazing experiences because Earth is a very unique planet, and we're here to expand, to experience. Okay. So your soul decided to come down here, and some of the things in your life are your soul contracts, and you can find them very easily by looking at patterns. Believe me, It's so easy to see. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. So if your husband or your wife sort of reminds you of one of your parents or of a boss, that's a repeating pattern. That's something that you came here to learn. You don't have to repeat it forever. You can learn it and you can move on. Once you close out a soul contract, generally speaking, you don't see that person anymore. Think about an ex. You don't see them anymore. They're gone. You already learned that lesson. You don't need to repeat it. It's gone. Okay? Now, you can have people to stick around, but then that part of the contract has been cleared so they don't bother you anymore. They could have been your parent, always drove you crazy. And then once you figured out the soul contract part of it and you're like, "Oh, they're here to teach me this. I get it. I've learned it." That same person probably won't be a jerk to you anymore because they don't have that urge. That magnetic contract is just not working. It's not there, right? So there are some things you came here to experience, but you can, through all of these things, you can get through them, move past them by raising your own vibration. It's sort of like a hack. It's they keep calling it a hack. It's like a cheat sheet. Let's call it that. It's a cheat sheet to your soul's contract or your soul's destiny here on this planet. Raising your vibration gets you out of everything. It's like taking the high road. You could take the road through town. You're going to have all the red lights. You're going to have the speed traps. You're going to have all that hassle. Raising your vibration is like taking the freeway around the town. You don't need to necessarily go through all of that. You can bypass it. And you can raise your vibration in a number of ways. And you can Google all day long and come up with ways that work for you. But remember that mood follows action. It's not what we think. We think when I feel better, oh, if I felt better, I'd go for a walk. That's not the way it works. That's why we end up never taking that walk. You have to take the walk to feel better. You have to listen to the happy music to feel better. You have to make the choice to stop hanging around that very sad, negative person to feel better. You have to take action to feel better. And that's why we started this video out by saying that it's inside job. You make the decision. I don't really like this person. Like I feel depressed and upset and anxious every time I have lunch with them. Well, that's a pretty good indication that that person is not for you. So, but before that, you might think, I really want them to like me. And I don't know why they're so angry with me. And I don't know why they put me down. So you were in a victimhood energy. Flip that on its head. And all of a sudden you're saying, wait a minute, this person makes me feel tired. This makes me person feels me anxious. See the difference? I'm in control now. I don't like the way this person makes me feel. It's not about, I want this person to like me. It's about how do I feel? That's what's important. That's why I'm saying it's an inside job. And once you raise your vibration, guess what? You are now matching people, jobs, health, everything, period, end of story, at the higher vibration. And how the spirit guides describe that is typically is in an elevator. So you're in this elevator. We've all been in an elevator, and elevators paused in between floors and you're waiting for it to get there. It's taking so long. But you've worked on yourself. You've done the things to raise your vibration. Maybe you've done a gratitude list. Maybe you've really worked on talking more positively to and about yourself. And so the elevator's moving, and you're not going to get off at the third floor. You're going to get off at the eighth floor, the 10th floor, the 12th floor. And when the doors open on that floor, why this is important is when the doors open on that floor, there's eighth floor people there for you to meet, not third floor people. So all of a sudden you have people that care about themselves, that are happy, that are, doing well. Those are the people you're meeting now because your vibration matches theirs. But when your vibration is, I'm not worthy and I'm just struggling and I'm tired and I'm sick and I'm depressed, then guess what? You match tired, sick, depressed people, or even worse, you match energy vampires who love people that are down on their luck. Energy vampires love that. They love that low vibration. You become their food source, their energy source. So do everything you can to raise your vibration. And again, there's lots of ways you can do it. One of my favorite ways is a gratitude list, but not only just a gratitude list, a little extra, which is, what are 3 things I didn't know I was grateful for? It's one thing to say, okay, I'm grateful for my kids, my health, my fingers, the roof. I mean, you can just go on and on, but add the twist. What am I grateful for that I didn't know that I was grateful for? Because what happens is you have to look around and find something to be grateful for. It's a very different exercise, and it ups the energy level tremendously. So do it in your room right now. What in this room am I grateful for that I didn't know I was grateful for? All of a sudden, you're going to see things in a new light. Everything that you've just taken for granted, you're going to be like, you know what? I actually really like that lamp. You know what? I really actually like the color of the wall. You're going to have to find something because this is your homework, right? 3 things you didn't know you were grateful for in the room you're in right now. It'll literally boost. It'll change your energy. This this is exactly how I got to be talking to you on this video, because I was having one of those periods of my life where I was down and out. I had had a terrible breakup, and I'd had a series of just bad things happen to me, and I was just asking, why is this happening to me? And I think you're like me in the sense that you're like, I'm a good person. I treat people nice. Why do people treat me like crap? You know what I mean? Like, how is this possible? Why would people treat me like crap when I'm treating them nice? Well, my turns out I wasn't treating myself nice. Internally, I was critical of myself, and I was treating myself bad just the same way these people were treating me bad. Nobody can treat you the way you don't feel about yourself. Take that and just think about it for a minute, right? Because wow, if this person is lying to me, then what I would say is, where are you lying to yourself? You guys, it's heavy, but this is the key to your freedom. This is the key to your happiness. Truly, whoever is bothering you, they're showing you a mirror back to you. So if somebody's bossy to you, you're being bossy to yourself. If somebody's lying to you, you're lying to yourself about something. If somebody is betraying you, oh my God, they betrayed me. Are you betraying yourself? Probably, because betraying yourself would be, I don't like this job. I hate this person. I don't want to do this, but I am. I'm going to do it anyway because I need the money. But you're betraying who you are. And that kind of energy cannot continue. It cannot. You cannot continually betray your soul. It doesn't work. Eventually, you'll lose the job, you'll lose the relationship, and everything will get worse, and you won't know why. That's why, because your soul knew that it wanted someone different or a different job or a more fulfilling job. But you were just saying, look, let's just keep it. We're making money. Let's not rock the boat here. But sometimes it gets to be push come to shove. Something's got to give, and your heart, your soul always wins. So try to make your heart and your soul happy. And if you can make your heart and soul happy, you can put up with a crappy job. Because when you get off of work, you've got a hobby. You've got a sports league you're a part of. You've got a group you're a part of. We all know people like that, right? That have busy lives outside of work. Like they come to work with their sports gear. Maybe they play on a team or they come to work talking about the art that they created over the weekend or the great hike they took. This is super important because what they're doing is they're balancing their life. They might not have the greatest job. They might not love their job, but they balanced it over here with something they really love. And a lot of people say, well, I love my family and my kids. You probably do. I hope you do. But is that giving you what you really need? Or are you doing that out of a sense of duty? Because if you're just getting off of work that you don't like and then going home to a family where everybody piles on you, essentially the energy is exactly the same. Work is dumping on you, your family's dumping on you, everybody's dumping on you. That's untenable. You're just not going to put up with that. So the thing to do is before it all falls apart and we get back to this 9 year, this 2025, this is not a year. This is not an energy that's going to allow people to be complacent, is what the guides are saying. And you might be like, Susan, I'm not being complacent. I'm working my butt off. I get it. I get it. But working your butt off isn't going to get it either. You've got to be in alignment with your soul, with your happiness. And again, you can do that. If you've got a job that's too demanding, that's not, rewarding you, you've got a family that's too demanding, it's not rewarding you, then in between those two things, you've got to find a place to be rewarded. Okay? So you don't have to divorce your family, you don't have to quit your job, but you do have to carve some time out for you to do you. So you might have to negotiate with your family or negotiate with your job. You may have to put up some boundaries and say, I'm over giving here. Now, of course, these people are all been used to the, deluxe version of you that just gives everything to them. They're not going to like to hear that. They're not going to like to hear you're going to be pulling back. I mean, they're going to accuse you of being selfish, which is a big trigger for people that are overgivers. We overgive because we don't want to be selfish. We're not being selfish. We're trying to stay alive. We're trying to keep our health. We're trying to keep our mental health. And if you think about it, those people that you're overgiving to, they go do their lunches. They go on their vacations. They leave their, they get their things done. You're picking up the slack for them. So if you're picking up the slack for them, of course they don't want you to stop. But also, they're getting their things done because you're allowing them to. So it's time to pull back and say, I need an hour for myself, 30 minutes, an hour, start someplace. Start someplace. If you don't do that, then spirit will, because your soul is unhappy. Your soul wants to do what it came here to do. And it's like, we've been giving this person a long time and they're not really listening to us. They're not really doing it. They keep putting everybody else over our destiny. And this human life is only so long. So we have to help her. This is how you end up things happening. You lose your job, you get transferred, you get laid off, you get sick. Your family lets you down, your spouse lets you down in a big major way. These are all things to shake you up. And we don't want to wait for that. I don't want to wait for spirit to shake me up. I want to do it on my own. So I don't have to have it done to me. I want to choose, right? So again, what is that? That's getting out of the demo mode. That's getting into, I'm going to be in control here. I'm going to take control of my life. Right? So that's super important right now. It's just, even no matter when you're watching this video, if you're watching this video, this is one of the reasons why you're watching this video. And I've already told you how you do it is even if you don't want to, or you don't feel like you can say anything to your boss or say anything to your family, here's how you do it. Spend 15 minutes a day listening to guided meditations. Spend 20 minutes a day And you can carve it out. You got to go to the grocery store, take an extra 30 minutes. Nobody's going to miss you for an extra 30 minutes. Before you go to the grocery store, drive to the park and take a walk. Before you go to the grocery store, drive to the park and sit in your car and listen to a guided meditation. So, you put these habits in with other things you already have to do, then it's not an extra struggle. And it gets you out of the house and it gets you on your own peace and quiet. And also, sometimes we need a habit kind of buddy, the guides are saying. So I can never remember, Susan, to do the meditations, or I can never remember to do these things. So hook it up with a thing. Whenever you go to the grocery store, get in the habit of going to the park first and walking. So if you only go to the grocery store once a week, fine. But get into the habit of every time I go to the grocery store, I do this. Every time I get gas, I do this. Every time I do laundry, I do this. Hook the new habit to an already formed habit. And it's easier to remind yourself to do it. It's not going to be super easy because new things are not easy, but it's going to help you rather than trying to remember. Maybe you can download a free habit app that just reminds you. And a lot of them are free, right? And you just set a reminder, go for a walk every day. I have one that bugs the heck out of me. I'm like, golly, it just reminds me all day long until I do the thing. That's what I need. I need that kind of reminder. And maybe that would be helpful for you too, right? As I mentioned, this is a series called W.O.W, Wisdom on Wednesdays. You can find the playlist on my YouTube channel here. And I want to tell you about one more thing that could be very helpful for you. I have a class coming up called Reawaken Your Soul's Destiny. That pretty much sounds like something that might be useful for you. I'm teaching it with my good friend Afefe Tahimba, who's on YouTube with Touched by Tarot. And let me just tell you some of the things. Now, this class is only $37. $37, okay? It's on Saturday, March 1st. It will be recorded. So if you want to just buy the class and only get the recording, just buy the class and don't show up. You'll get the recording, right? But if you'd like to show up, we also do Q&A, live Q&A. So it is a Zoom class and you will be able to have participation. But here's some of the things we're going to be talking about, right? Understanding the soul, embracing divinity, a spiritual lens on history, daily connection practices. Some of the things we've talked about today. Empowering your true self. Empowering your true self. Wow. Rekindling your inner brilliance and healing the seat of the soul. $37, you guys. I mean, I'm telling you, Afefe and I have taught thousands of people classes, and we know how to put a class together. We know how to bring you valuable information, and we do it really reasonably, right? The class is an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours long. I can't remember exactly. Go to my website, SusanLynnMedium.com. Go to events or classes. You'll see it there. You can find out more information about it there, and you can get your ticket. Again, it's March 1st. If you're watching this later, go to my website. I should be able to have on-demand classes, so meaning that you should be able to go to my website and find classes that you can watch on demand, right? So this should be helpful for you. Again, $37. Today's video has been free, and as I say, I've got 110 plus videos free for you, right? Do what you need to do for you. That's the most important thing. The most important thing I want you to know is that you are loved. You are valuable. You're here for a reason. And your reason is not to be a doormat. Your reason is not to be an energy supply for a vampire, an energy vampire. That's not the reason you're here. You didn't come here for that. You might have come here to learn the skill of recognizing them and then not giving them your energy. But you didn't come here to be a victim to them, okay? So hopefully these tips today have helped you understand that and see that, and you can put them to use and take really good care of yourself. And I'll see you again next Wednesday.